Question number 9, Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. Does he stand by his statement, quote, "It has become pretty much unacceptable in the developed world, at least, to be running a tax haven that undermines other people's tax bases"?
Mr. Speaker, yes.
Honourable supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Brief but not memorable. How can he justify a regime that he helped create and continues to defend that has led to the undermining of the tax base in a country such as Malta, where senior politicians use New Zealand's trusts and managed funds to make tax-free profits, and has led to the Maltese people protesting in the streets?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, of course it's up to the Maltese government to decide whether any of those allegations are actually correct, and they may well ask for information from New Zealand, which of course it would supply. These matters will be dealt with by the expert review.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
How can he deny that New Zealand is eroding the tax base of a country like Malta when their tax evasion came via, quote, "a combo pack from New Zealand designed to exploit New Zealand's weak due diligence, as described by Mossack Fonseca, and is being made up of, quote, New Zealand foreign trusts which pay no tax on foreign income, and what is described as look-through companies which could be owned by the trusts," end quote?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, not being an expert on those matters, I wouldn't want to comment on the tax affairs of the Maltese Prime Minister or whoever he's actually referring to. The expert review will deal with the issue related to disclosure about what happens with these foreign trusts. Bear in mind that anyone who transacts in New Zealand is now subject to anti-money laundering provisions, another regime called FATCA, and a further regime called the Automatic Exchange of Information, all of which are part of New Zealand's effort to play our part in the global work to reduce tax evasion and avoidance.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Were Chapman Tripp wrong in their advice about the changes his government made to allow for zero tax rating of non-residents managed funds, that this put New Zealand, quote, "in the same league as Luxembourg," the very country he was talking about in the quote in the primary question?
The Honourable Bill English.
Speaker, I haven't seen their advice and can't comment.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Why should the international community take seriously New Zealand's calls for a crackdown on multinational companies in New Zealand that are not paying their fair share and eroding our tax base, when we are implicated in eroding the tax bases of countries like Malta or Mexico, or has he lost his moral compass too?
Order. The Honourable Bill English, the first part of that question.
Our voice in these discussions is taken seriously because New Zealand has the most comprehensive, thorough tax system in the developed world, with the least loopholes and tax breaks, and actually some in New Zealand would argue the harshest treatment of foreign investors in New Zealand.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Point of order. Grant Robertson.
I seek leave of the House to table advice from Chapman Tripp from 10th of October 2011 that puts New Zealand in the same category as Luxembourg, Ireland and the Caymans.
Order. Leave is sought to table that particular legal advice. Is there any objection? There is objection. Order. Question number 10. Maureen.